Rebuttal to William Pounds, this isn't about personality, it's about political science. A lot of people, including longtime Greens and Independents, still misunderstand what the Green Party is. That's not a personal flaw. It's the result of generational erasure. But if we're going to talk honestly, we need to stop treating the Green Party like just another option on the American ballot and start recognizing it for what it actually represents in political science, the only party in the U.S. tied to the suppressed quadrant of global politics, the Libertarian left, the Green Quadrant. And when I say erased, I don't mean forgotten. I mean systematically eliminated. Anarchists, mutualists, syndicalists, cooperative builders, bottom-up rebels, these people weren't just ignored. They were burned, buried, co-opted, and rewritten. In every textbook, every school, every media frame, socialism was redefined as authoritarian state control, so Americans would never find the quadrant that could actually set them free. This isn't about Howie versus Jill. Saying Howie Hawkins seemed working class, while Jill Stein seemed elite, misses the actual battle. This isn't about personality. It's about who carried the quadrant forward and who didn't. Howie talked eco-socialism, but filtered it through centralized Marxist orthodoxy. His alliances, rhetoric, and messaging leaned heavily toward state socialist organizations that openly supported authoritarian regimes like China and the USSR. He had no love for horizontalism, no push for mutual aid, no real defense of direct democracy or decentralized power, just another top-down map with red flags instead of blue ones. In contrast, Jesse Ventura, a former wrestler who considered running in 2020, actually understood the libertarian ethos better than Howie did, even if he didn't fully know what quadrant he was standing in. Ventura didn't sell out, he didn't compromise, he didn't pander to authoritarians, but like a lot of us, he hadn't yet mapped it to political science. He didn't see the Green Quadrant in full yet, but he stood closer to it by instinct than most professional leftists ever do. And then there's Jill Stein. Jill Stein may be the most complicated of all. She spoke to the decentralist values early on, bottom-up governance, mutual aid, abolition of empire. She refused to water down her positions for the press. She called out the duopoly. She lifted up Palestine long before most politicians had the guts. She gave voice to movements that mattered, and we honor that. But over time, she too seemed to lose the thread. When I first spoke to her, it became clear she didn't fully understand political science. She was viewing the Green Party only through the lens of American electoral politics, not through the deeper global history of the libertarian left versus authoritarian left divide. And now, she's aligning with authoritarian socialists. People who support strong states, central planning, even apologetics for regimes like China or Assad. That's a betrayal of the very bottom-up values she used to represent. It's like once someone's been in the Green Party long enough, mocked, isolated, pushed out of every national conversation, they start trying to look respectable. They compromise. They partner with authoritarians just to stop being laughed at. They forget who we are. We have to remember, this quadrant was never meant to survive. Cynthia McKinney told the truth about 9/11, that it was orchestrated with Israeli involvement, and they erased her. She said what many Americans now understand as fact. Mossad had prior knowledge. Israeli agents were caught celebrating and filming the tower's collapse. FBI reports on urban moving systems were buried. Zionist influence in the intelligence apparatus obstructed every serious investigation. McKinney was ostracized not for being wrong, but for being early. And Jill Stein didn't back her. Nobody in power did. The Green Party is not a personality contest. This isn't about who's likable. It's about who understands the war we're in. Howie Hawkins did not. Jesse Ventura almost did. Jill Stein once did, and now stands at a crossroads. Cynthia McKinney knew it all, and they made her pay the price. This is bigger than any of them. We are fighting to reclaim the quadrant they buried. The quadrant they never wanted Americans to see. The quadrant that believes in no masters, no rulers, no elite saviors, just collective freedom from the bottom up. So no, we don't care who seems elite or looks working class. We care who still remembers what this fight is about.